Jan here with Richie. We're training our Saturday morning and we're doing an exercise, a push hands flow drill that we've talked about in the past, and I want to break it down even more than ever before. So one of the things that Richie and I were talking about was having power from here. So when you're playing push hands, a lot of times folks are playing out here, but to have power from here, to have power with small stances is very, very particular. And to do that, you have to, oftentimes in my experience, I have to look at other styles than the style that I might have grown up with. So I grew up with Wu style Tai Chi, which taught arms like blades. Grandmaster William C.C. Chen's style is an inverted breathing yang style. It's not a traditional yang style, and they have a lot of very small internal mechanics, and they inhale to push rather than exhaling to push. So the drill that we're going to do now, which I'll show you guys, takes some of that mechanic and mixes it with Luhabafa. And we're going to talk about why we're doing all these things and the two inhalations and two exhalations that we're both doing. We're both breathing at the same time. So here we go. I'm pushing, and he's exhaling, pulling me down by sticking and dropping his hips. That's the pull, not an actual grab. And then he's going to push me. We're both inhaling. He's inhaling on the push, and I'm exhaling, pulling him down, dropping my hip. And let's actually step a little bit away from the camera here. Hopefully you can still hear us. So you can see the insertion with the leg. So you may have seen videos I've shown about this before, but never with this level of detail. So pressing, cut, inhaling, exhale. So exhalation 1, inhalation for the push. Exhalation for the drop, inhalation for the push. But look what else is happening. So we have exhalation drop. He's exhaling also because he's responding to the drop. So he's using the exhalation to root himself. And then as I push him and inhale, he's using his inhalation to inflate his lungs and to insert the thigh. And then he flips the hip, meaning that the shoulders were back and the hip was forward. Now the hip is back and the shoulders are forward. So his nose is over his knee somewhat. When he does that, it drags me down. And now inhale. I inhale, I do the same thing. I insert, he inhales, and he expands into his push. I exhale, my hip went back, my body went down. And let's just talk about those. There's a lot of things to talk about here, but let's just talk about in a 50-50 clinch, let's talk about this thigh insertion. So the thigh insertion is right here. You're in a 50-50 clinch. Now we're not doing the flow drill anymore. I'm just showing you how this could work in freestyle grappling or in freestyle push hands. I'm taking my foot, it's back away, taking my foot here, and I'm going to step just to touch the ground, but my weight is mostly here. So I'm 70% on my front leg. I'm going to shift my weight to my back leg. Maybe I'll even pull my back leg up with a half step up, and I'll step to touch the ground here. All I want to do is touch the ground rather than transfer the weight. Now I'm going to transfer the weight by slicing his thigh with my thigh as if my thigh was a razor, and I'm going to inhale. That inhale, sometimes you'll get a throw with people who are less sophisticated with balance. So I'm inhaling, I'm only bracing here, but I could turn it into a crank, but that's not really what I'm going for. So I essentially cut into his space, especially if you're playing push hands and you're trying to get somebody out of a ring. I cut into his space with the thigh, and now watch this. I flip the shoulder. So you cut and then you flip with the shoulder to essentially push them back, and this helps you eat space in the ring. So that is one thing that we're pulling out of this. But again, at the beginning of the video, we were talking about, we can go back to the drill now, we were talking about allowing yourself to have strength in tight spaces. So the inhalation mechanic, rather than exhaling on a push, again, borrowing this from Grandmaster William C.C. Chen, the inhalation is essentially you inflating your body. The intention is to inflate your body into a shape. The shape is the push, the shape of your body as you push. So that shape is driving up the arms. So we've talked about this in the past too. These are the roads. As he exhales and drops down, and I exhale and I drop down and I position my forearms under his forearms, getting ready to redirect the pressure. We're both exhaling down. He's finding the roads, meaning the bicep to shoulder line. That little path he's going to drive up as he inhales. I am taking my elbows to or just beneath my shoulder level. And then this insertion is a cascading of the hip. I'm cascading the hip to throw my, this is from Luha Basra, or water boxing. I cascade the hip in and I drop my shoulder level. So I'm not picking his arms up. I'm agreeing with his arms going up, and I drop my shoulders underneath the arms and then go back into the flow. I drop the shoulders, drop my weight, inflate. And it's very easy for this to collapse into 2 breaths. And once you do that, you're missing some of the valuable moments here that are going to train you. So if I just exhale, inhale, or I inhale, exhale, you can do that and it still feels good and nice, but you're not going to get all those little detailed moments. So here I'm dropping beneath, dropping him down with that gentle pull. Remember, I'm not grabbing, I am sticking and I drop my hips. And then that bounce, that reaction that it causes in your opponent, that's what we're looking for. And that's not to say that he's reacting right now, but this is what's going to train you to find those reactions in push hands. Let's just go into freestyle for a second. So bounce and push, those little moments, exactly. And those little moments where you load weight into your opponent and then wait for them to respond. So you load weight and you allow them to push back. They don't want to go down. He just pushed me back. So like all these little pushes, whatever direction you're pushing, you're looking for a response and you're creating a narrative with pressure. So we're training the foundations of all of those in this particular drill. So we're just going to do it a few more times. First, I switch legs. And push, drop down, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, load, inhale, cascade, exhale, load, push, loading, pushing. Make sure that thigh cuts in. I'm not hitting his leg, but I know that if I was using this for caging, look up my caging techniques on YouTube for push hands. With the caging techniques are the cutting into the thigh, disrupting someone's stance with your stance. So make sure that get all these little details. So I just want to show you that, and there's a lot of details here, a whole bunch of details that I'm doing my best to capsize all of them into this one video, but there's a whole bunch. So if you have any thoughts, questions, or ideas, feel free to leave a comment and I'll get back to you. And if you have a specific question and need me to make a video on it, I will. And I love you guys. Richie Stores.